Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We've got some more Battle Aces gameplay footage for those who don't know. This is the new game coming out from David Kim's studio, Uncapped Games, and it is looking very exciting as a sort of kind of arcadey battler that is a super distilled, brutal, fast version of RTS. We've got PartinG in the bottom left, Clem in the top right. And they're going to be playing 15 games today. And these games are quick, they are brutal, sometimes over in 2 or 3 minutes, usually about the 5-minute mark, sometimes as long as 10 minutes. As you can see that countdown at the top of the screen, that is the maximum match time in Battle Aces. Now, PartinG is playing a very mobile, swarmy style. He loves this. He's using the Wasp. That unit there is much like the Zergling in StarCraft 2. Cheap, expendable, incredibly fast. It's got decent damage. Maybe not as high damage as, say, a Zergling does, but the weakness is they scale really badly, because in big fights, it's very hard for them to get surface area on the enemy, very hard for them to get on top. Now, Clem, on the other hand, is playing Blink. So these guys, they're basically just a ranged soldier. They can teleport every 5 seconds, 7 seconds. I'm not sure what the Blink cooldown is exactly. So he's got to kind of turtle up and defend. And notice, as we get to 9 minutes, the workers spawn in, because the first thing players do in the current meta is build an expansion with their first resources, and it always takes 1 minute from an expansion finishing to those workers actually spawning. Now, PartinG's getting ready. You can see he's ready to do a 2-prong dive, and Clem needs to protect his workers, but he also needs to make sure he doesn't split up his Blink guys too much and then get them surrounded themselves. Oh, he's going to take a third base reactively because PartinG dropped one. PartinG pulls those guys out of position, and this is a bit of a mistake, I think. He's only got a couple of blinkers down there in position to defend. This is a great dive for PartinG. I think this was a big mistake for Clem. He saw so many wasps on the left, and he thought, oh, that must be most of your army. But look at this. The middle base wasn't that exposed. Notice how the middle base only took a tiny bit of damage? It's your workers that are the weak point. So that's a strategic misplay from Clem. He prioritized defending the middle third base when he should have prioritized defending the workers. PartinG lured him out there, and that's worked out very well. But he's got raiders going across. This is a new unit, guys. Clem is going across with 3 raiders. They eviscerate workers. They are the most brutal anti-worker harass unit ever, which is why he's using bombers, which are like banelings, to try to get them. But even using the baneling type unit, the bomber, the raiders still getting it and killing so much. You can see how insane the damage is on those raiders, but didn't clear the full worker line. I still think PartinG's ahead here. Oh, King Crab's coming out. That's like an Ultralist, guys. It is a very big AoE splash damage unit. It does high damage, but it's not that tanky. There's only 2 of them. Nice blinking back for Clem, but he is getting swarmed. His King Crabs, it felt like maybe that they must have been nerfed since I got to play this game, man. They were not doing as much splash damage just then as I remember. I'm telling you, when I was playing against Indy, oh man, he massed King Crabs every game, and they would just rip you apart. Dude, so many more workers going down, and it's really efficient to trade your wasps out for workers, because remember, workers mine a mixture of both resources, your power as well as your requisition, and requisition is all that it costs to build wasps, so you're getting rid of your opponent's potential to build tech units just using basic units here, which is why this is such a good move. And oh, he uses a few more bombers there on the blink units, but he's got a Swift Shocker in there as well. Now, the Swift Shockers are like those little laser cars. They're not very good at single target fire, but they are a fast move and shoot unit. They're adding some damage to the King Crabs. King Crabs still clear a lot of workers as well as a lot of wasps. It feels like we need a different unit to answer these King Crabs. I really feel like we should be going for some air or something, but PartinG is not right now. I'm not in control of the observing, by the way, guys, so I can't check the tech tree to see who's upgrading to what or check those unit cards, which is kind of a bummer, because I would absolutely be looking at that a lot otherwise to explain what the players are going to be doing next. Anyway, wasps are coming forward. King Crab's getting surrounded. I really think this is actually going well for Clem now. Look at that King Crab. Look how quickly they kill workers. Dude, the King Crabs just don't seem to have a big answer. That being said, Clem's natural base has only just started rebuilding its workers, but it's 3 base versus 2 right now. Clem's back. Yeah, he's got all of his workers back as well now on his main, natural, and third. Whereas PartinG, he's only got like 1.5 base of income right now. And he doesn't have an answer. Swift Shockers are not the right unit, guys. Swift Shockers, they're a splash damage move and shoot unit. They're not good at dealing with King Crabs. Bit of a mistake there for PartinG going for the Swift Shockers. Not sure what else he had in his arsenal. Just to go over their cards, PartinG went for level 2 Foundry, which is the ground tech. And it looks like on level 2 Foundry, he had the bomber, that's the suicide unit, the baneling, and the Swift Shocker. So yeah, he was kind of just lacking anything that could deal with big chunkers. Whereas Clem, when he went Advanced Foundry, he had the Raiders to do harassment damage, which he just used the one time, and he had the King Crabs, which just didn't have an answer. PartinG, essentially, even if he went Tier 3 ground, all he had was the anti-air Tier 3 ground. And if he went Starforge, that's when he could have opened up some of these units. The Dragonflies, the Locusts, or potentially the Strikers. I mean, the strikers wouldn't really help, but they technically could like kite down the king crabs because they're much faster. But hats off to Clem, gets it done with the king crabs. Really nice answer to the locust opening for PartinG. All right, well, Clem's up one game. He's going to be in the top right again, PartinG in the bottom left. Now let's see what the loadouts do. Okay, PartinG's going to go for crabs, man. Crab is like the basic unit that I think they made a little bit faster, actually. I think they've buffed that a little bit. It was a little bit slower. That was the first unit I used there. They're just like a generally chunker. Great, just like hit point damage ratio for a basic unit, but because they're melee, and obviously, I mean, they're not crazy fast like the Wasp, they can just get out microed. But like as a way of just getting a relatively efficient meat shield, there's definitely times in like the mid game where crabs are actually a much better requisition sink, I should say, rather than things like wasps or even some of the, you know, blinks and recalls and stuff that get a bit awkward. He's going to go for a single one running by into the main, and the others are going to attack the natural. It seems like Clem's the more defensive player with his unit picks. Clem did go for, oh geez, I think did he go recall? Yeah, he's going recalls. Okay, so he's going recall, advanced recall. He's going tier 2 ground right now, and Starforge, on the other hand, tier 2 air for PartinG is being upgraded. So that's going to be kind of cool difference. Now with the recall soldiers, obviously they can teleport to any of their own bases every 7 seconds. He's going to try and kill a crab and then recall, I think. Yep. So he gets a kill, doesn't lose any units. He does take damage on them though. And his own third base is a little bit exposed, but of course he can always teleport on it. You don't really want to recall on top unless you're sure you have way more numbers though. Ooh, you can see, because teleporting into the melee of the crabs, this actually looks like a really good fight. And look, the base wasn't that damaged. I think Clem's maybe just rushing to defend his bases a little bit too early. If he waited a bit longer, he could have recalled in a few more soldiers, and that fight may have gone better for him. That being said, the tail end of the fight looked pretty good anyway, so I think it's okay. Just got to be really careful with that recall, because it takes a few seconds to activate. You don't want to lose too many units whenever these fights start. And oh, look, strikers are coming in, guys. So strikers are a ground unit that you can actually build off of the Starforge tech, and turrets are coming down. Wow, and he's got turret and heavy turret in his layout. This is such a defensive lineup for Clem, but the turrets are getting overrun. More recalls are going to try to get in there. Both turrets go down. So we've got, once again, PartinG's the aggressive fast player, and oh, turrets at each base. Wow. I actually don't know how the warping into the turrets works, guys. I think you press the button and then you have to place it near one of your bases, but I haven't used the turrets at all. And there's both turrets and heavy turrets, and Clem has both in his arsenal. I think one of them is got an anti-air, whereas the other one's only anti-ground. And I think for now, he's just putting up the anti-ground turrets. They are meant to be, of course, very efficient since they can't move. And I think because he knows that Clem is going to be more of a harassment-focused player, really trying to just utilize those bits of static defense, the only static defense of the game right now. See what he can get. Nice recall stutter step so far. And you can see the crabs are going around the strikers as well. The strikers have really bad stats for their cost, guys, but because they're so fast, there's such a ranged damage that moves that quickly is such a big boon. When you're running around with king crabs or wasps, having those strikers behind them, it just adds this incredibly fast damage. And it really is a thing where if you get out of position against this army, things can go very bad very quickly. Oh, he only recalled some of his units, leaving these guys in the open. He loses 3 of his recalls, 4 of his recalls, and cat bus transition comes in. Here comes the cat bus transition. Where's your anti-air? I don't think turrets was the play, man. Oh, he's bringing out predators. Predators are amazing anti-air predators, and I think those are not mammoths, not crusaders. Oh gosh, I'm forgetting their name. Ballistas, heavy ballistas. That's tier 3 ground that Clem's got up. The predators need to get over there and defend those cat busters, though. The cat busters can shoot and move at the same time. So PartinG's just trying to basically do a drive-by on the worker line, takes out a bunch of those before pulling back. There's predators split on the front as well. Those heavy ballistas are an incredibly powerful unit. I've only got to use those a few times in my games playing this. But what is the answer? I mean, the thing is, Predators are such a good anti-air unit. You can see both have them in their lineup. And I think the cat bus investment is just not going to do that well versus the Predator. You need to be able to swarm over the Predators. And he might be able to here. PartinG's just looking to swarm because this is only part of the army. Oh, and Clem's going to GG. Wow, threw in the towel. So I think here, I like that they show the match result at the end where we can kind of look at this screen. So yeah, I think he was very reliant on these turrets, guys. It looks like both the heavy turret and the regular turret both shoot up. I don't know the difference between them. I'll be honest, not much analysis for me on this one. But yeah, the Predators are very good anti-air. I do think they counter the cat busters quite well. but he probably needed to turtle up. He had the heavy ballistas out. That's a tier 3 advanced foundry unit. Foundry being tier 2 ground, foundry being tier 3 ground, Starforge and advanced Starforge for air, and tier 2 and tier 3 air. Yeah, I feel like he probably could have tried to recover and just say, hey, in any pitched battle, all your cap bus investment is worth nothing against my predators. But he just needed to make sure he didn't get swarmed by the little units, the crabs and everything else. Nonetheless, PartinG ties up the series 1-1. All right, tied up 1-1 as we go into game 3. Clem in the top right, PartinG in the bottom left once again. Okay, so PartinG's got Scorpion and Beetles, and Clem has gunbots and missile bots. And of course, you can see one's an anti-ground, one's an anti-air unit. So you only really see the anti-air unit as a reaction usually, as it is just a less valuable way of fighting the ground outside of all-ins, because it does use power instead of requisition. You can kind of all in rather than taking up by getting a few of those anti-air units, but it's a super edge case. Gunbot Scout is out there. And remember, the gunbot can stim to move and shoot faster, has up to 3 charges on that, but they take a while to recharge. And both sides on 2 bases right now. Now, the Scorpion, I would love to talk about that unit. I haven't used it, guys. I really don't know the differences between, like, say, the Scorpions and then the Crabs from the last game. Like, what's the difference? You're like, well, I don't know. Scorpion came in after I was able to play with it. I don't know how many, experience of games these guys have playing them. I've played a ton of games with gunbots, though. Gunbots, Blink, and a little bit of Recall were kind of the main core units that I used. Wasps as well, of course. The Wasps or something. You got to spam out some Wasps, especially coming as a player who always enjoyed the Zergling in StarCraft. Gunbot attack coming in the middle. He's going to get sandwich. Scorpion coming in from both sides. If you can get a good sandwich on those gunbots. Oh, this is huge. Dude, PartinG was waiting. He was hiding the Scorpions, and that's pretty much a full surround. Full surround. Wow. It's always risky to push in, but you could see the way Clem had pushed a few spotters into the bottom and top of the minimap, but they didn't quite see the Scorpion, so he's like, oh, I guess you're turtling. He was not expecting a surround like that, especially with the ability to stim those gunbots. He's now in such a bad situation. I'm calling it stim. It's probably called overcharge or overclock, something like that, guys. Clem should not be attacking right now. He is trying to get value off of his insane micro, which he is one of the best Terran players of all time. And mechanically speaking, arguably, he's like the fastest, best Terran in StarCraft. Just when it comes to like raw clicking speed. Oh, Destroyers coming in. They're very good at like one-shotting units from range. PartinG's getting a little wasteful though on his Scorpions, just chasing into the gunbots. But he's going to take out that middle base. Look at how much damage those Destroyers do. Destroyers are really good for like single target, just mincing enemy units. Now the King Crab comes in. He's going to take out those workers. I think he used to 2-shot workers, but they've nerfed it to 3-shot workers. I think King Crabs were just so powerful before. I got to tell you guys, man, the King Crab, there was a few hours when we were first playing this game where everyone was spamming King Crabs, and I was just like, are you kidding me, man? This thing, you just A-move it and it kills everything. But we've got Crusaders to deal with it. Crusaders beat King Crabs 1-1, but they don't do splash damage. So the Crusader's not as good at like dealing with all the little guys, but they're just like a slightly tankier, higher single damage unit. So they're a very effective counter, especially if you get those in front of your Crusaders. Oh, we got Shockers coming in. They're slow, but they got splash damage. They'll be very good versus the Scorpions. I feel like Clem's composition is better. Well, is it though? Those Destroyers. If the Destroyers can just shoot a Crusader, pull back, shoot a Crusader, pull back. The Destroyers are a bit exposed though. But look, he's already killing a few of these Crusaders. The Destroyers only taking a little bit of damage. And look at how much stuff. I think PartinG's just ahead from the earlier fight wins. I think he's got too much stuff. I think this is a situation where they both built pretty intelligent compositions, but look at that. Actually, the gunbot micro is pretty good. There's still like 4 King Crabs left though. He can't stand and fight. The third base gets killed again, and I think PartinG just has so much more money coming in, especially if we can get another surround, that'd be big. The Destroyers take out a few units. He's still got those 5 Destroyers. Every time they shoot, guys, it is devastating. And notice he gets rid of another Shocker. The Shockers aren't that fast. You can see even the Destroyers, not that fast a unit either. You can see they're pretty slow, but even they were able to run down those Shockers as Clem tries to stutter step his way out of trouble. He does reinforce another wave of units. Remember, units build instantly, but you can just tab. They all pop out of your main base. Oh, but these Destroyers got really good value. He does lose 2 of them there. Good chase by Clem. Every time you go in range, those Destroyers should be shooting technically. Shoot, pull back, shoot, pull back. And every time there's like a skirmish like this, the Destroyer gets really good value when it's on the edge of enemy range, just picking off units. Now, a counter to that would be snipers, which Clem has access to, but he needs tier 3 ground to do that. on 2 base, he can't afford tier 3 ground. He can't afford the advanced foundry. He just can't get to it. So he's kind of stuck right now trying to win with sick gunbot micro. And I mean, it's a very good unit, the gunbot, and you definitely can get some value out of your micro. But I really feel like what we've seen in this game is I do think Clem's composition is actually a little better. I just feel like PartinG's first engage was so amazing. With these like scorpion flanks he keeps going for. Like getting that surround in that first fight has put him so far ahead. And he's on 4 base against 1 base mining. This is Clem's last army. And as Clem loses these units, he should be throwing in the towel because he's got nothing left. GG, well played. That first surround was beautiful from PartinG. All right, going into game 4, PartinG leads 2-1 over Clem. And let's see what they've gone for. Okay, PartinG's gone for a recall basic units. He's got the advanced recall on his Starforge tech. He's going to be playing up against a Wasp Hornet play from Clem. Both have a mixture of air units. Clem has the Locusts available, and PartinG does not have much anti-air. And he has no splash anti-air, which means if Clem goes into Locusts, I think he can literally just win this game by going Starforge Locust Swarm. I don't know if even the like massing the basic anti-air units will work against that, let alone if Clem mixes and matches Wasps and Hornets. I feel Wasps and Locusts, I should say, sorry. So Locusts are like they're like a spammy air unit. You just come in with crazy numbers. Oh, okay, surrounding the first recalls. 2 recalls go down for like 8 sorry guys, Wasps there, man, tripping over my words. So many unit names in this game. And since I can't play it at the moment, I'm sometimes forgetting those. But I think, honestly, trading 2 for 8 is, like, pretty even. I think this is fine for PartinG. His workers are warped in. They're vulnerable. Killing the actual base with Wasps takes forever because there just isn't enough surface area for all of them to be attacking. Third base is already up here for Clem. So Clem's going to try and be greedier behind the Wasps. I really feel like 3 base, that's fine. But if he delays Starforge... Oh, and he's actually going tier 2 ground. Maybe I'm overestimating the power of the Locust, guys. I feel like the Locust is actually insane if there's no splash damage and only a few basic anti-air units. Wasps running in and out. Here we go. Recall comes in. He's trying to go after these workers. He's trying to set up a bit of a surround here with the Wasps is Clem, but PartinG recalls everything onto the 3rd base. He's just going to stand his ground and fight. And notice he's warping in units at home. He's making new units and recalling them over. He only loses 1 worker. Great fight for PartinG. I'd say I'd put PartinG in the lead here. PartinG's also got Raiders coming out. Look at this. 3 Raider run by on the south. He's only on 2 base. That is the problem. But Clem, oh god, he does not want to lose that base. But look how hard it is to block these guys. Can he block it? Oh, he blocks it. He blocks the Raiders. He can get at least one of them, if not all. Oh, this is massive for Clem. He gets rid of all the Raiders without them killing a single worker. Remember, Raiders can only kill workers. Sorry, I should have explained that more earlier in the previous games. Here we go, though, guys. The Crusaders, they're getting swarmed as well. Crusaders are no good versus this comp. Crusaders are a tanking unit. They're not good against lots of little swarmy guys. So, I mean, it's okay to have a few mixed in as a tanky frontline, but it feels like PartinG, he needs to get the recall mass up. That's his real damage is just his basic boys. Now, those Swift Shockers for Clem on the right side, if they are just shooting the Crusaders, they're also not effective. They need to be trying to hit the actual recall soldiers that are clumped up, trying to land their splash damage on them. Swift Shockers are a very nice move and shoot unit. I believe it's a very small splash damage. By the way, if I'm incorrect on any of these things, you guys let me know. Once we get the closed beta next week, I'll be able to correct all that. But man, what a big fight. Dude, the Crusaders are just too tanky. Sorry, yeah, the Crusaders. That is the right name. The Swift Shockers and the Wasps just get overrun, and man, I really feel like an air swap would have been so nice this game, and especially now for Clem. But he had him pinned. You know, if you're 3 base against 2 base, if you can get to air, it makes it so hard because the 2 base player then is like, well, how much anti-air do I build? Because you can reactively make air when they're at your base. You just wait to the last second, then make a big wave of air and just clean up their whole army. And that's the real power of the air swap, which we haven't been seeing too much in this series yet. Both players very ground focused, very like straight up play. Dude, the Swift Shocker micro is very good for Clem. You can see Clem loves his move and shoot units, but because the recall guys run away, that does leave Crusaders in the open. One of them goes down, another one's very damaged up front. There's no way to heal your units that I know of right now in the game, guys. Once they're damaged, they are damaged. It is what it is. Ooh, here we go. Okay. Mass recall comes in behind. The Wasps looking around. Swift Shocker's going to the left side. He's going to go straight for that third worker line. Oh, these Wasps might be engaging a bit early, but no! Look at that! He gets him to recall away. And if these Swift Shockers get out without getting surrounded, that'd be huge. But PartinG's blocking. He's blocking. He's not able to block it. And Clem surrounds these Crusaders. Remember, I told you they're not good against swarms of little guys. That was a brilliant maneuver for Clem. The way he outpositioned him. And he's going to move up and surround again up north. No way! Oh, but he doesn't finish them off. Oh, and actually, dude, PartinG's on 3-base mining. Clem, where did his workers go? Where did his workers go? He lost every worker on the natural and the 3rd base. Clem's mining is just not there right now. King Crabs are going to come in. I mean, King Crabs can do good against recalls because recalls are very slow if you get on top of them. But, of course, they are just teleporting out of there right now. And I think he's about to teleport out as well. He does try to teleport out. His Crusaders will die. But I think he's happy to trade those 2 Crusaders to take that base out. PartinG is way ahead now. Clem is looking desperate. Look at just the number of recalls there that add good, solid, consistent range damage output. That alone is a problem to be dealt with, and there's no answer for it, especially not with the Crusaders up front, just doing a great job of tanking. And like I said earlier, King Crabs, they get countered by Crusaders. So Clem has to tap out. PartinG is now up 3-1. PartinG bringing that Korean dominance over to the Battle Aces. Man, I was really wondering how it would be casting this game, but I'm actually having a lot of fun. This is awesome, guys. I'm definitely checking it out. Okay, so PartinG's going to be playing the Blink comp. Clem's playing Wasp Hornet this time. If we look at the rest of their comp, Clem's got a very mobile Starforge. He's got the Striker edition he could add in there, as well as the Locust and the Dragonfly. He's got the Bomber, which is the Baneling style unit, and the Sniper. The Sniper's the tier 3 unit that just outranges everything. It's very, like, it's just good against slow chunkers, basically. Good for picking off destroyers, mortars. Mortars are like the siege tank type unit, which we didn't see as much at the high level, but was very powerful in certain situations. It's kind of funny we haven't seen any of those yet, but I think it's partially because snipers counter them so hard. Blink back. Notice he waits till he's kind of damaged. He's just like blinking back little by little. There's so many of these wasps there, but I don't think he lost any blink units, and that's the power of blink. Just blinking back those units, something which PartinG, as one of the greatest Protoss players of all time, is very familiar with. Even when people say, oh, well, he's not, not as good in the last 3, 4, 5 years of StarCraft 2 as other players, PartinG was always one of the best micro players in the world and one of the best Blinkstalker users specifically. I mean, he literally created a meta even when he came back after a year or two's break where it was based around utilizing Blinkstalkers to kill Terran players purely off the back of his insane micro. The 4-gate Blink meta. Oh, there's no workers here yet. Uh-oh, PartinG doesn't have the workers spawned in. Once the workers are spawned in, hiding behind the worker line is a really good choke point. But instead, I think he's a bit exposed. I think he got caught out here. I mean, he's doing a good job of at least limiting surface area by hiding in the corner. And you know what? They're really not dying that fast. You can see how low the Wasp DPS is. They're fast, they're swarmy, they're so cheap. But it's not like they do crazy damage, This is not a Zergling surround in StarCraft. But I think it's still enough value. It does eventually take them down. And remember, it's about 25 versus 100 cost is usually like the comparison between, say, a single Wasp and a single Blink. So if you're paying 4 times as much for each one of those Blink soldiers, or those Blink bots, they cost you so much. Every single one going down is huge. It seems like the Wasps are breaking through now, blinking forward, but so many workers have already gone down. Happy to get this around. As the workers fall, you get more surface area as well. And Clem's even down in the main base with some units. What the heck? Clear that base completely. Let's see what the next step is. I'd love to see some air swaps, some Locust plays. These guys are just playing in-your-face, hyper-aggressive, kind of low-tier Battle Aces. It's so funny because this is such a unique thing. For those who don't know, PartinG and Clem are 2 of the most aggressive StarCraft players in the world who basically just love to attack and micro, which is kind of funny because I played games against Crank where we were just we'd move across and then pull back and move across and pull back, and we'd basically be maxing out and vying for giant concaves across the map while unlocking every tech because we were both trying to trick the other player into overcommitting. It was very a European style strategy game, but this is Korean style to its core, even though Clem is French. In your face, aggressive micro, start to finish. And that is absolutely what I like about that is it shows that there will be player expression in the game for how it plays out. And I'm sure some people watching are gonna be like, well, this looks just like frenetic, ridiculous poo-poo if they don't like that style of game. I guarantee you the games can be a little bit slow paced. It is a brutal, fast game in its core, don't get me wrong. But the way these two play is so ridiculously brutal and fast-paced, and that is unique to these two. Damn, one of those shockers just went down. They do good splash damage, as you can see, but losing one there is pretty expensive. Clem's into Starforge now, guys. And that's the Locust Swap I was talking about. Oh, the Locust Swarm comes in, does some pretty good damage. He's even just fighting the anti-air units, which is what I thought they'd be okay at doing, but he's going to try to back away for now and go for a run by. Look at those Locusts, man. These guys, if you don't have splash anti-air, they're such an annoying unit to deal with. They're so fast. They do so much damage. And I'm calling them Locusts. Are those Locusts? They are Locusts, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure those are Locusts. I will double check at the end of this game. But I haven't used them much, but I've just seen them. And they are swarming over everything. Dude, the Wasp's doing pretty well. So many workers going down. PartinG lost all the workers on his natural expansion. His third base is completely dead. And he's being forced to invest in mass Blink Hunters, which are the anti-air Blink units, which aren't as good against ground, which means they're weaker to the Wasps, King Crabs, Strikers, anything like that. So the idea with air is you don't want to just like try to overwhelm them with pure air. You want to make air, get damage, run by worker lines, kill whatever you can, force a lot of anti-air, and that enables your ground army to be much more effective. So you can see this counter push for PartinG is desperate. It's mostly anti-air units. They're just not that good. And even with pure Wasp, I think he might be able to deal with this. Definitely, I think, where is the rest of Clem's army? He's coming in now. He's coming in. Oh, these guys are going to get wrecked. They're trying to blink away, but PartinG is just so outnumbered, dude. Look at the surface area those Wasps have. And they're starting to die. Oh, even his main base is going down as well. Even if Clem doesn't quite win this fight, he's killing a lot of these advanced Blink Hunter guys. He's got so many more units coming out. I feel like he should have something else, but it seems like he doesn't have anything else to counter them. Oh, gosh. Is this enough? Yeah, okay, it is enough for Clem. I mean, he was so far ahead on units, but you could just see as the fights get bigger, the Wasps don't scale that well. Despite that, Clem opened up really nicely there and gets the win. All right, 3 wins for PartinG, 2 for Clem now, going into game 6. And PartinG's back to playing fast, boys. Oh, this is a classic matchup. PartinG's got Wasp, Hornet, and he's also got Bombers, the Baneling type unit, as a secondary, whereas Clem's playing all the Recall specialty. Recall Hunter, which is the anti-air recall. He's got the big beetle, what is it, like the lizard with like the shot cannon on its back? Recall Advanced. I don't know what it's called, guys. I'm going to call it the recall lizard, essentially. But that thing does splash damage. So you can be like killing a base with Wasps and then bam, this whole army recalls on top of you, including splash damage units. And when splash damage units recall on top of your little boys, they disappear. But a lot comes down to these early trades. And I think this is fine to be out on the map right now. Does teleport back to the third. Oh, he's trying to take a really quick third. That's crazy. But it can tank a lot. Remember, until the workers spawn in a minute after it comes in, you don't need to be too worried. The real trick is defending the third, though. Oh, he leaves 2 out on their own. Big mistake, man. They should have recalled out of there. He'll at least kill 2 or 3 Wasps on the way out, but this is already a good start for PartinG. And I think you got to remember, when you want to wedge units behind a worker line, you only do it once the workers are there to limit surface area. If you leave them there a few seconds before the workers arrive, they can get surrounded and killed. And this has been a big mistake for Clem. Yeah. Oh, and now he's just trying to recall in desperately to defend, but he doesn't need to do this. It's because he's already got units there, so he's trying to rescue them, but the workers aren't spawned in. The base could tank. I really feel like this is a big mistake for Clem. He's getting so far behind right now, guys. So far behind. The Wasps are just going to keep doing damage. They can go for the workers. The workers are spawning in right now. He's going to go hit the natural as well. And he's trying to go up for tier 2. I don't know why he's not diving. I mean, PartinG could be doing more damage right now, I think. There we go. A few recall guys going to try to come in, but he's got good surface area. He should be able to kill a lot of these workers. Got to make sure he finishes them off. Doesn't just damage them. That's the only problem. A lot of them got damaged. Oh, he only killed 3. Yeah, that's like a weird thing that can happen in those small fights. You're like, I damaged 12 workers, but I only killed 2 or 3. Now, Clem's teching up. He's going to go Starforge, which gives him advanced recall, and I believe Dragonfly is what he had available. So basically just like a flying unit, general purpose, and the advanced recall is like just a very good recall soldier. It's a little faster, does a little more damage, but because it's costing that power as well, invest in them at your own risk. It's also available on Starforge, so its stats just aren't as good as other tier 2 kind of ground units since it comes off the air tech. Oh, the bombers, the bombers! They are suicide units. Beautiful spready from Clem to minimize the damage. That could have been worse. He's hanging on pretty well. Those are the advanced recalls I talked about. You see, they're a little more mobile. but they're still very vulnerable to splash damage. And the problem with using those against bombers is, oh no, here they come! The bombers just obliterated like 8 to 10 of those advanced recalls, and there's more. This is like Zergling Baneling that PartinG's playing. This is such an aggressive comp, and he's got the splash damage in there. He says, hey, if you clump up to limit surface area from my wasps, guess what? The bombers come in and do big damage. But he got 2 bombers there, only hit a single advanced recall. So that trade wasn't quite as good. Clem's hanging on like a champ. Clem does have his workers respawned on all 3 bases, but he's got to defend his 3rd base, and that's easier said than done. He's recalling in a lot of advanced recalls and regular recall soldiers, and the wasps rotating around the center. King Crab's coming in from behind. King Crab's for the reinforcement. PartinG trying to run by, but he forces the recall and then he pulls back. Bit of a run by coming in here for Clem. He's going to try and dive onto the worker line and then recall them back, but that means he has so few units at home. The bombers getting some massive hits on the recalling units. That's such a good way to punish, because you're so commonly against this fast composition recalling in a blob, and then the bombers just blow up on you. This is such a weird, high pressure, frantic situation. And I gotta tell you guys, I would absolutely not be playing either of these styles. It is not good for my heart rate even watching it, let alone playing it. I'd be like, where's my mortars at? Where's my siege units? Let's get my gunbots in like a nice defensive position. But these two are just absolute maniacs. Bombers looking for the angle. Clem's got to be careful, man. He's trying to pre-spread his units against these bombers, but they have a pretty big AoE, dude. And he's got so little left. Look at just the number of units coming in. He's gonna, yeah, recalls a few more in. The bombers say goodnight. And that should be that. I think Clem's out of this game, guys. He's just been recalling in numbers that just aren't quite there. And that all comes down to those 2 recall units he put in behind the natural expand. And then the fact that he then panic recalled to the middle after losing those 2 and just kept recalling in units 1, 2, 3 at a time into enemy surrounds. Once the wasps get an advantage, they will spiral out of control if you let them. All right, PartinG's up 4-2. He's got a big advantage. Clem's going to need to start turning things around. Clem's going to go recall yet again. He's going to have another go at recall. Round 2, this time up against the Crab Beetle composition. Oh, PartinG's got butterflies on his Starforge, guys. So butterflies are one of my favorite flying units. They're kind of slow, but they move and shoot. They're really just a very good anti-ground unit. They don't shoot up at all. And they're just good for like running around through mineral lines. And in general, I do like the butterfly a lot. I really, really enjoy that unit. So I'd like to see a few more air swaps and a bit more tech in general. It really feels like this is like the first week of an RTS where the top players are just the guys who are just cheesing each other constantly. It's kind of funny because it's so different to like many of the games that I played, you know. My first games were a lot like this for the first day I was playing. These guys are so good at micro, they can still just win off of these like very aggressive mechanical strategies. Once again, recalling to defend a base he doesn't need to. I think Clem should be a lot more conservative in these fights. I think he's basically trying to fight before he needs to. Recall's all about making sure your stuff doesn't die. I did like that recall though to get the units out of the surround. That was pretty nice. Crabs coming in. Crabs have amazing stats for their cost. Oh, I don't know. He's trying to pull back his weak boys. I don't think there's any healing in this game, man. We're just giving hit points away, PartinG. PartinG gonna try and rotate around, looking for the counterattack once again. I mean, at least by threatening, he's stopping the recall soldiers from going after his economy, which is really nice. Now, you can always recall those units, but he was a bit slow. Does get sniped down. Crab's going for the workers would probably be an overcommand. Ah, so he jukes him. He's like, haha, you went right, I go left. And then those guys are able to teleport to safety as well, though. This is crazy. The level of micro these two have is kind of insane. I do wish that our observers would show the tabs a little bit more of the players, just so I could see when they're taking up. Because like this is such a big part of observing and spectating this game. And it's something where I'm like, man, I really wish I was live in here to observe this stuff. Anyways, looks like mammoths and turrets getting unlocked right now for Clem. So he's going to be going for some chunky boys and some turrets on tier 2 to add to his basic recall setup. And oh, dude, those are recall hunters. I don't know if he made those on purpose. Those are an anti-air unit. And oh, does he know there's air? Oh, no, there's no air. So I don't know why he made recall hunters, because they're just like a worse recall unit, essentially, those zombie-looking boys. Interesting choice. Here we go. His mammoths are coming in. I haven't used the mammoth much either. That's a newer unit. It has big burst fire as far as I know and is quite tanky. Oh, okay, he's going to recall to that right side just to try and block this crab run by. He's diving in the middle. Here's the butterflies. Here's the butterflies I was talking about, guys. They're a move and shoot unit. They're going to get on top. You got to get out of here. He does have some blink hunters, though. Is it enough to deal with it? He could, or recall hunters, sorry. The recall hunters actually kill all the butterflies. Oh, PartinG. I think PartinG thought there was less anti-air than there was. And now he's gone cat bus as well. So, yeah, very good preparation here by Clem. Recalls back, defends his worker line. The cat bus is also a move and shoot unit. It's meant to be amazingly good. Now, funny story. I was playing, we did like a little in-house tournament when they first showed us this game. And me and Crank were playing in the semis. And Crank had spent a lot of the couple days we were there in our office talking to David Kim. And David Kim had told him about all the units. And he told him the cat bus was an awesome unit. And it beats like pretty much everything on the ground. And he went for it. And I ended up destroying in that game. And that was kind of instrumental in me beating Crank in our very close little semi-finals in our tournament. So I haven't really seen the cat bus too much. It's meant to be very good versus ground units, but I think if there's enough anti-air units there, they can definitely beat it. You can see it's pretty nice the way it moves and shoots. Like, it's very tanky, right? It's super tanky. Oh, crab's coming in from the north. But I remember Crank was just kind of shaking his head and he's like, David lied to me, man. He's like, he said this unit was good. That unit was garbage. To be fair, I in that game, I built a whole bunch of anti-air ships that I'd never built before, but I'd always had just waiting on my card because I'm like, someone's going to do a big tier 3 air unit swap at some point. I need something. These guys, I think that says they're good against air units, you know. Let's build those, and actually worked out. Catbus is going for a run by in the north. I do like the air mobility, and PartinG's got 4 bases up. So he's just using the threat of that. He's forced so much anti-air out. I'd love to see a ground swap from him. Oh, he's going to lose 1 cat bus there. The recall hunters get rid of 1 cat bus. In the middle of the map. Uh-oh, Mammoth's getting surrounded by crabs. Get him out of there if you can. Oh, the cat bus just killed every worker on that base. The double cat bus run by doing well, but another cat bus does go down. Oh, I think enough units coming in for Clem. Does win this fight against the crabs now. The Mammoths with the recall soldiers behind it. I know they're robots, guys, but I just call the basic dude soldiers. Oh, Locusts coming in. Locusts coming in for PartinG as well. Just like a more swarmy air unit as well. He's full committed to air, man. PartinG is like, I'm winning this game with air and crabs, and there is nothing you can do about it. Now, to be fair, this game's still incredibly close, but I think Clem's income's so dry right now. 3 bases versus like 1 and a little bit. I think this is looking pretty good because look at the lack of mobility as well on the recall hunters. This is why even when I was playing recall in different comps, I was always like, man, I kind of prefer having the blink hunter as the anti-air unit, mix and match, you know. Use the blink anti-air unit along with the basic recall ground unit, just because the ability to blink on those air units and shoot them down feels so good. Whereas these guys, even though they've got great stats, this blink hunter, they're just very slow, and it's hard to keep on top of a guy like PartinG who's so good at maneuvering around. Locusts are going to swarm the top. They should be able to save that base. That cat bus does go down. Nice recall. There's still a cat bus in the back of the main base of Clem. Clem kills the 4th. Clem's on 3 base, guys. This is an epically close game. I'm kind of regretting this was the game I chose to just talk about random things partway through, because we've been casting so many games in a row, because like this has actually been the most epic game of them all, because we've got so many tech switches. I do think, I don't know if Clem has anything other than the basic anti-air unit, and that could really hurt him, because we've got Locust running around, Cat Boss running around, and Butterflies running around. The fact that there's 3 tiers of air units for PartinG, and we've only got basic anti-air units, is really costing us. Like, don't get me wrong, they can beat them in a front-on fight, I think, if you just have enough of them. But the air units are just using the mobility so well. PartinG's playing an exceptional game, and those Locusts, I mean, Locusts are a very cheap spammable unit. You can see they take a while to get through those Mammoths. Here we go, big fight going on. The Butterfly Crab actually did pretty well. 3 base against 3 base, going on 4 bases now for Clem. Ooh, I wish I could see the score. I wish you could see the score before the last minute. For those who don't know, if it gets to 10 minutes, so that timer at the top goes down. If that gets to 1 minute left, it'll show a score on screen with a bar. And basically, if it gets down to 0 seconds, person with the bigger bar wins. So the game is forced to be maxed out at 10 minutes. And your bases do start mining out as well, like you're just before the end. So I think they've been killing each other's workers a bit, but we probably will see their main bases start to dry up in just a little bit. A lot of urgency towards the end of this game. It feels like PartinG's income's taking such a big beating. Clem has a giant army. He goes for it. He goes for it. He commits 100%. The recalls are getting jumped on by the crabs, though. The recall hunters are getting jumped on. The top side goes really well for Clem, though. You could see those mammoths just chew through. As long as he has enough of these recalls to kill the cat bus. The cat buses, the cat buys, the cat buses. The cat buses. I'm pretty sure. Struggling with my plurals here. I'm like, what is a multiple of cat called? The cat. But because it's cat bus, I don't know, man. The pride of cat buses there is struggling, trying to take down those anti-air units. Ooh, I remember. I think the first time we played it. Oh gosh, he also just came out with the other unit as well, guys. The unit, I forget what that's called. Clem made this guy, guys. Valkyrie. He made some Valkyries. Oh, so he did have another anti-air unit, the Valkyrie. I honestly have not used the Valkyrie. I think it's a new one. I don't know. Actually, I think it was there for a while. Apparently, it's strong against air and weak against ground anti-air. Kind of vague, but he did have another anti-air unit that he was getting in the mix. He also had Predators on tier 3 ground that he didn't get to. All right, well, PartinG's now up 4 wins, but Clem getting closer to him. 3 wins for him. And okay, gun bot, missile bot for PartinG, and it's Blink advanced, Blink Hunter for Clem. Clem actually has the advanced Blink in his loadout, the King Crab. He's got Mammoths, Predators, Cat Bus, and Dragonflies. Meanwhile, PartinG actually has the Falcon, a very good flyer that is just a good anti-ground. It's kind of slow, but it's insanely good at just fighting ground units. Kind of just beats basic ground anti-air, but it's so slow, and it obviously is super vulnerable to getting jumped on by other flying units or anything like that. Gunbot's coming forward against the Blinks. Let's see who wins this fight. Oh, nice stutter step. Gets rid of one of the Blinks. Bit of a mistake there for Clem. PartinG just dives on it. And you can see the gunbots in terms of raw stats a little better. Oh, Clem blinks forward, snipes one and gets away. So they've both lost one. I'm pretty sure they're similar cost. Maybe the blinks are a little more expensive. It does seem like there are a lot less of them on the map, actually. So yeah, I think they must be a bit more expensive. Oh, this is looking good for PartinG, though. Yeah, you really don't want to be losing these guys. You want to, with Blink in the early game, you want to pick off a unit, blink away. Pick off a unit, blink away. Even though they are amazingly good, you need to really use their micro. If you guys aren't like a fancy micro player, do not use the Blink one. I'm not I've used it sometimes, but I know like as an Australian, that unit's not going to be my friend. I'm going to be playing this game with lag. I'm going to be using gunbots a lot more. I love the gunbot. And, oh, hello. Gets himself a couple more Blink snipies. If you can get the bottom Blink guy that's very weak. Oh, dude. Clem's getting ravaged, I think. I mean, I'd love to see like a unit's lost tab or something. I don't know if they have that in the game yet. I think PartinG's taking a great trade, but he is now overcommitted. Yeah. So the tail end, he starts to fight really well, and then it starts going really good for Clem. Now, Clem's got his air tech up by the looks of it, and I think PartinG is still only now on his way to tier 2 ground. Gunbot's trying to hang on. You gotta be careful about committing to the opponent's side of the map, guys. In general, committing to their side is very dangerous. Here come the Mammoths. Oh, the Mammoths looking to sway this. It's just not in favor. I guess he did go... Wait, Mammoths? You can get Mammoths off the ground? Off the Starforge, guys? I did not know that. What? Oh my gosh. I'm literally looking that up right now. It's a Starforge unit. Oh... Because I was thinking, isn't it just like a worse kind of Crusader or something, even though it's got range damage? But it's off the Starforge. Oh, I'm so silly. Okay, that's really important. So this is really nice for Clem. He manages to kill the third base. He's going to jump in deeper. Destroyer's coming out. Destroyer's very good for picking off the Mammoths, but very vulnerable, very slow. Missile bots will get behind the worker line, defend these little locust harassment. Clem's only on 2 base, so I think taking a third would be smart. Oh, PartinG, what are you doing? Oh, I think he thought Clem went home, and he's just like, yeah, let's see if I can get away with a third base. He drops it on top of the enemy army. Remember, guys, you press that button, it'll just spawn right in, and Clem gets a free base kill. I think Clem's got this game. PartinG doesn't have any meat in front of his destroyers. You don't have any meat in front of your destroyers, man. They're going to get wrecked. He needs some splash damage to pair with this to deal with the recalls. I don't know if he has anything available, though. We'd need to see his unit. No, all he can make is Crusaders and Destroyers. Maybe a few Crusaders, just have at least some tanky frontline. Gunbots do have good damage, but he's just outnumbered. He's outnumbered, look at that. And when you're losing with gunbots against something like Blink, they just jump on top. The Destroyers, he wants to move and shoot with the Destroyers, like shoot, pull back, but even there, Clem snipes a Destroyer, blinks away, waits for reinforcements. He's like, dude, I'm on 3 base, you're on 2. Clem does not need to attack at all right now. And if you want to play really safe, I mean, think about the strategy of real-time strategy, guys. These guys, when they get advantages, they often keep winning with micro. But usually it's like, okay, I'm ahead, just defend my third base. It's on PartinG to either take his own third or do something about it. And that's really the way this works. Oh, Clem dives on top. Clem's diving on top. Crusader up front went down almost instantly. You can see this other Crusader comes forward. It's getting jumped on as well. PartinG's just too outnumbered. Feels helpless, and he's going to tap out. Clem ties up the series. Is that what, 4-4? 4-4. All right, series is getting hectic now. Clem's going to play Blink again. PartinG's going to play Gunbot again. Wow, really? What? No way. I mean, it is a different lineup. For a second, I was like, did I just load up the same game again? But this is a different lineup in terms of their units. Because you can see Clem's got Raiders and Snipers this time. I'm not sure what PartinG's going to tech up to. It looked like his lineup was different as well in the follow-up. It's kind of funny. I think the longer you go in at like a series like this, you're going to see the players default to the units they're most comfortable with. And it seems like Clem is most comfortable with Blink. I really feel like PartinG's most comfortable with Wasps. From what I've seen, he loves spamming Wasps. But I also don't think you want to play Wasps game after game after game after game, because your opponent will get better at dealing with them every single time. Yeah, so he's going to go... Oh, PartinG's playing Mortar Crusader, guys. Mortar is the incredibly powerful siege tank type unit. Crusaders, we know those tanky boys already. So we finally... I've been like, dude, where are the Mortars? Why do we not get to see them? I know they're kind of slow and these players are so fast-paced. They're good at out-positioning slow units. But it's kind of upsetting as a big fan of them. Oh, blinking forward, dangerous. Nice punish for PartinG. Gets rid of at least 2 of these recall units. Or blink units, I should say. Sorry, guys. I do sometimes get blink and recall mixed up. Man, this is going to be exciting. By the way, I had a few people comment and they say, I can't tell the units apart in this game. It all looks just like blobs running at each other. I then had someone edit their comment and say, oh, I went from watching on my phone to watching on a screen. Actually, the units are really easy to pick apart and this looks great. Heads up, any new RTS that you haven't played before, you're not going to know what the units are. Definitely try to watch on a bigger screen. There is a reason we're recording this in 4K. These skirmishes, I mean, I feel like Clem's losing it. We'll see, though. We will see. I think there's some chunkers coming out, guys. I think Tier 2 air's finished. We're about to see some mortars arrive on the front line, I think. Yep, those are mortars. See those guys? And look at that. Siege is up. Siege is up. Oh, first mortar shot comes down, and Clem immediately has to pull back. He's going to leapfrog these, right? Just siege one in an area. Siege the other one in front of it. Clem has to get out of here. But look, now he's in range of the third base. PartinG can move up those other ones from the back. This is so powerful, and its splash damage is powerful. Its range is powerful. Its splash damage is powerful. One of my first games I was playing where I discovered the mortar, I was wrecking Livy B. I was all over. I was like, oh my god, this is easy. I got a bit cocky. She got like 2 mortars sieged up outside my base in a choke point, and they killed about 500,000 times their value in resources. And I was like, oh my god. I think I ended up winning the game. I don't know, but I remember the next 10 games I just spammed mortars every single time because I was like, well, that unit has some real potential. You can see here, it's hard to break those spots. Unfortunately, the Crusaders were a little late to get here, but remember, Crusaders counter King Crabs. They are very good at blocking them, beating them one-on-one. Gunbots are a very good backline behind tanky units like Crusaders as well. PartinG just has the raw stats here, and I think this is the right move for Clem. Trying to kind of do run-bys, out-position, maybe be willing to give up this third base, because you really just can't fight into the defensive setups. He's going to try and flank from 2 sides. That's a good idea for Clem, but look how quickly his blink dudes go down. Oh my gosh, 2 mortars on the front die. No, only one of them dies, and Clem just taps out the power of the mortar, ladies and gentlemen. Yum, yum, yum. There we go. A unit I actually have a lot more experience with. Good to see some mortars making their way in and actually stomping. PartinG's going to play mortars again. Guys, he's playing the same... Is this the same lineup? I think it might be an identical lineup. You do this sometimes when you win. And Clem... He has changed his lineup slightly, but I didn't have enough time to fully look through everything. But it's still the same thing, guys, right? Like, blink for Clem in the top right. Remember, PartinG's up 5 wins to Clem's 4. This is a 15-game series, so I think they play the full 15 no matter what, just because they want to show the game off. I have no idea if there was prize money for this as well, by the way, guys. I just saw the videos dropped from Uncapped. They shared them with me, and I was like, oh, more games that have played live literally earlier today, a few hours ago. I think like 7 hours ago from when I'm casting this. A few hours, I don't know. Add 5 hours to that before we get this up on YouTube, maybe. Maybe less than that, depending on how quick it takes to render. Render and upload. Oh, Gunbot's chasing out. All right, so it's 3 base versus 3 base. Both players pushing their economy pretty hard in the early stages. I like the idea of Clem playing a little more carefully. I think you've got to be a bit more cautious with the blink. Gets a gunbot, blinks away. I mean, it's worth it, but he's taking a lot of hit point damage. You got to be careful about sacrificing too many hit points in these little skirmishes, and then the big push happens, and it's like, yeah, well, I killed a gunbot, but all my dudes are on 10% hit points, and they will die very quickly when damage actually lands on them. Got to be careful. Is blink available? Focuses another gunbot down, blinks away. That's good micro. Good micro by Clem. He's re-engaging before blink's ready, which is why it's a little bit early. But oh my gosh, Clem! Clem stayed way too long. Looked like he almost wasn't watching, and he gets punished and loses a whole bunch of guys now. And there's just no reason to stand and fight with blink ever in these early fights with gunbots. Gunbots are a raw fighting unit. There's a reason I like the gunbot, guys. It's like a noob unit. It's just so good in terms of raw stats. You stim it, you attack with it. You could do a bit of repositioning to try to make sure they're all shooting. You could do a bit of stutter step with them, but it's just, to me, I like it because it's just so basic. It doesn't take any fancy positioning like blink does. And there's something satisfying about that. Give me raw stats any day of the week, you know? As a gamer, and you're like, this unit have good stats, it shoot fast, it do good damage. Like, you know, you're trying to find in a strategy game the units that just seem to be just that nicely tuned. They just got that little edge over the enemy's units, even in a balanced game. Clem really committing to these fights. He's a mad dog, dude. I'm telling you, Clem does... This is how he plays StarCraft as well. He just, like, never really defends. He just always attacks all game. Mortar's coming out now, though. He's got to be careful, but he does have a bunch of those shockers. Oh, I mean, the shockers can wreck the gunbots if he gets on top, but the shockers are very slow, guys. And you can see the mortars. Oh, the mortar takes out a bunch of hit points there. But here come the Crusaders in the front line. Oh, PartinG did focus fire to finish one of them, which was nice. That mortar in the top does get blinked on. One of the Crusaders does barely escape. He's going to go up and hit the 4th base. Clem's only on 3 bases. He's trying to make sure his army has the answers. Now, you can see he's splitting his army because he doesn't want to get sandwiched in here. If he gets locked into that base in the north and trapped there, he's not playing recall. A lot of these units don't even have blink. Now, if PartinG comes in the open, he might jump on him. But because he's not attacking the base, PartinG should be very careful, being aware that Clem's trying to lure him into the open where Clem can jump on him. Clem's going to go for it. Clem's going to go for it. Oh, he blinks forward. You got to be careful blinking forward because the mortar behind that can get big splash damage. But whenever it's shooting a Crusader, it's doing nothing. PartinG needs to focus fire these mortars. But I think he may have lost a few too many. Oh, he's got heavy ballistas. Oh, but they're not supported by anything. Heavy ballista's an amazing unit, but they're not supported by anything. Oh, and that's really expensive. I think PartinG should have given up on that 4th base in the north, and so that's fine. You're 3 base. I'll go down to 3 base and focus on efficiency. Snipers! Oh, snipers! You can see they wreck mortars. They are the hard counter to mortars. They outrange mortars. They outrange anything, guys. He focuses on the mortar, and they're just a very powerful unit. We didn't get to play with them, but at the moment they added that in, I was like, oh, I can see what that unit is very clear in its use case. It is a slow-moving unit that is there when your opponent's going for like a slow-moving siege style. You're like, oh, okay, I can outrange that. Like you're going for a long-range, slow positional style. I can just pick at you. You know, you could almost think of it as like the Tempest of this game. You guys are familiar with StarCraft, but blinking forward, taking out a lot of these units. Heavy ballistas. Oh my gosh, you can see the heavy ballistas splash damage is pretty beastly, guys. They just, yeah, it's just a shame they're coming in so late. The heavy ballista is an amazing unit. But coming in too little too late in this game, and PartinG, he's dead to rights. He's got nothing, and we will see him GG. Clem ties it up once again, 5-5. Well, is this scripted, guys? This is actually ridiculously close right now. Might be scripted. PartinG's going back to recall. Clem staying on Blink, King Crab, Destroyer. He's got the advanced... Wait, is that the advanced recall? Well, that's the advanced blink. He's got the advanced blink. He's also got Falcon. Was that Falcons in there? Valkyries. Sorry, he has Valkyries as anti. Sorry, guys. I think that might be flashing the screen whenever I tab around like that. I've got like a little cheat sheet here with the unit names in case I forget them. It has like the most basic description. They do not like telling us about the unit stats in this game. There's one like pet peeve I have is like they really want to make the game so simplified and streamlined in terms of that. They're like, we're not even going to tell you. I'm like, so what are the stats on this unit and this unit? And they're like, oh, that one has high damage. And I'll be like, I need to know the exact number. You know, as like a like for me when I play an RTS, I love to like memorize the numbers. And so far they haven't shared any of that, but I'm sure some hardcore nerd will figure it all out once the game's released anyway. There's always someone that goes in tinkering with the code or just like does enough experiments to come up with a system to get those spreadsheets going. Blink versus Recall. The Blink, you can see, can risk being much more mobile. In this matchup, compared to against the Gunbots, you can't get chased down by Recall. But you got to be careful, because if you don't stay aggressive as Clem, and those Recall guys get to your base, they can, you know, obviously, I wouldn't say run in, but they can walk in, kill a bunch of workers, and just recall home. So keeping him pinned is usually a good move, and teleporting back there, making sure he doesn't get caught, not a bad idea. Units have about the same range. It might be exactly the same, Recall and Blink. Because the Blink units are faster, though, they're quicker to, like, form a concave, to, like, form a firing line. While the Recall, so if you're you can kind of like get a few more shots off each time you move in and move out, but it's very finicky, right? Oh, Falcon transition. These are the big, slow, dominating air-to-ground unit. And guess what? Tier 2 ground's coming in for PartinG. He has no anti-air on his Tier 2 ground. He's only got the basic Recall Hunter. Remember those zombie-type guys? And look at that, blinking on him as he tries to recall to get maximum damage. Here come the Recall Hunters. They're ready to recall on top. Careful with the Falcons. Don't move the Falcons too far forward, unless you're willing to just stand and fight, which he might be. Here comes the Recall. The whole army recalls on top. That third base will go down. You can see the Falcons are trying to pull out of there. He loses one or two of them. Apparently, wait, they're move and shoot? I didn't realize they had to move and shoot. I thought because Falcons were so slow that they had to stand still to shoot, but they had to move and shoot as well. Falcon's very, very powerful. He's got mammoths by the looks of it as well. There we go. There are those lizard shockers that I talked about, guys. They do splash damage. So very scary. If you're clumped up on a base and they recall, that's why you almost always see people just run away when they see the recall animation. Falcon's going to try and overwhelm. He actually thinks he has enough to overwhelm the air. Risky move for Clem. Very risky move. But if he can kill, he sees the lizards came in, and yeah, he kills all the anti-air. There's only a few of those recall hunters left. And as I said, remember, Falcons even tend to beat basic anti-air units. So I think he got ahead of himself, did PartinG, by making the shock lizards, the splash damage unit, thinking, oh yeah, I can take care of this. But like against the Falcon, you need to really overcommit to countering them. You need to, because they're very slow. Once you catch them out, they are dead. Nice harassment. Looks like, I think maybe a Raider ran in and just ruined Clem's economy. Oh, it must have been a Raider, because yeah, PartinG has the Raider on his tech. Oh, so he just, Clem's economy is so bad. Clem does kill the expansion. Clem's been trading way better, but does it matter if you lose all your money? I think Clem should run home and mine out. I think he should mine up. He's built a third. I think going home is probably the smartest thing. The thing is, the Falcon is so powerful here because look at how slow those zombies are. Those bloody recall hunters, man. This is what I'm telling you. I hate the recall hunter. Using it, I feel like, even though you kind of need to have recall hunter to sync up with the rest of your army with the way it works, it's my one pet peeve, and it's understandable. Like, it has to have those stats to be that slow. But for me, I'm like, man, I just want to, like, when air units are being annoying, I want to shut them down. I want to overcommit to them. I want those blink hunters. Another Raider comes in, but it sees the ground units blocking it, and it's gonna just pull back. Remember, these Raiders only hit workers. They do cost both resources. They're quite expensive, but they just do an insane amount of damage. They're very smooth with their movement speed as well. I think Davey, like, he thinks about how disgustingly powerful the Oracle was at killing workers in StarCraft 2, and he's like, I would like to give the Oracle crack cocaine and, or maybe not crack, maybe meth, you know? Put it on something that's going to make you high performing. Here we go. Big push coming out of PartinG. Oh, the blink comes on top. Oh, he's still got a lot of those recall hunters, though. A couple of the Falcons go down. There's not much here for Clem. Guys, Clem's income's been so low. Like, losing all those workers. It's a shame we didn't get it on screen. I'll go back through the VOD and find it. PartinG actually has this. What a sicko, dude. What a sicko. Clem should have given this base up here. Because he should never have taken the 4th in the bottom right. That was a huge blunder. Taking the 4th when he'd already lost so many workers was such a big mistake. And Blink is one of the best for dealing with Raiders, as you see there. He's going to try and counterattack the northern base, but that means he's trapped there. Because these mammoths won't be able to leave. And, I mean, there's also just recalls available. Oh, I don't think he should be fighting. I mean, Clem has a third worker lineup. PartinG's only mining off 3 right now. It's just, I think he bled out too many fights. Defending in the middle. This is the point. There are points in this game. You might think it's just like clicking fast and it's a micro fest. The strategic decisions of when and where to fight, when to expand, make a big difference. And Clem taking a 4th was a bad call, and choosing to defend the middle was also a bad call. That being said, there's no counter to the mammoths here, is there? I mean, it's a close fight. The mammoths are starting to die, though. There's just too many recalls. Yeah. PartinG has the numbers, and I'm going to show you guys once again the crucial things in this game. Okay, guys, so this was the moment here. Just 3 minutes into the game, you can see the Raiders on the minimap down there. I didn't even notice this. And they ran into this base on the right, and just watch those red pips that represent workers on the back of the natural and the main just disappear. He didn't actually kill all the ones in the natural, but a lot of them. And then he runs into the main, and you can see he's like circling around the back, and he's cleared like basically half the workers in the main, maybe one quarter of the workers, or a third, maybe half the workers in the natural. So that was the first thing. And then the next thing that made up, so because Clem was like behind, he tried to rebuild a third here, and I'm like, this is fine. Pull back, play defensively, but turtle up for a bit and really mass up the right army for the next step. He did a great job of defending the recall here, but then he drops a fourth base and tries to defend the middle. Clem doesn't even, and PartinG doesn't even have mining on his third right now. So you're going up to 3 base at the same time as him, right? But he's been mining way more off that main and natural over the last few minutes. So even though you traded better earlier, he's had more income than you for most of this game. And I just think Clem didn't seem to realize that he's behind now on army, which he should have realized, because he's just got all of his workers respawned on his main, his natural, and now his third base. And instead he's investing in a fourth and choosing to fight in the open, when he should have been willing to even give this base up potentially, but definitely not take a fourth in the bottom. So he should have been much more patient here, waiting for more numbers, and he shouldn't have been teleporting forward, especially not on these shockers. Those guys do splash damage, so blinking on top of those lizards was a terrible move. That's basically what they want you to do. All right, well, PartinG's back up. 6 wins, 5 wins for Clem. I think Clem was in a good position in that game, but the Raider run by for PartinG, and then Clem just getting a bit too greedy on the fourth base cost him. Blink this time around for PartinG. Hello. Hello. Bit of a change up for Mr. PartinG here. Whereas it's Clem who's massing up, or it looks like Wasp units going to come across this map. Let's see how it goes when the, it's on the other foot. Because I feel like Clem is so good in general at attacking as a player, as is PartinG. Neither of them is really the best defender in RTS. Let's see how we do. I mean, I'm not saying they're bad at defending. I'm just saying, like, they're so good at attacking that it's like there's a skill imbalance there. One's great. They're great defenders, but they're god tier attackers. Third base is already up for Clem here, using his mobility, whereas PartinG is teching up right now. So PartinG's going to be behind on economy. He's accepting that. He's going to play a more cautious, tech-focused game, whereas Clem's just like, okay, let's see if I can trade early and get some good trade. But look at the worker position. You see how the workers actually act as a wall? So this is always a really good position to fight against Wasps. But you are still losing a bunch of workers. I'd say it's not the worst trade for Clem. But, I mean, army versus army, it's fantastic for PartinG. But I guess that's the thing, right? Is if you trade too much army, yeah, that's a problem. Air coming in. We've got Dragonfly Striker. So super mobile, fast strikers, I think, is going to be what he's going to add in, is Clem. And he's going to try and use that. But remember, like I said, he traded a lot of army for a lot of workers, which means right now PartinG feels he has the army advantage. He tries to push the issue, and I think it may have been the wrong call. Because remember, he invested a lot in tech. If he waited for tech units and then pushed, I think this would have been a much better push. But he's letting the Wasps trade in small numbers. He's going Crusader. I mean, Crusaders are tanky, but they're not good versus Wasps because they don't do splash damage. But I think he might just feel like anything tanky in front of his basic Blink soldiers will be fine. And oh, that swift shot, the shocker there is very good versus Wasps, but it's on its own. I like the way he pulls it behind the workers, trying to bring some more guys forward. You can see its splash damage is crazy. It's crazy at splash damage. But there we go. Takes out the third base of Clem. So Clem's lost his third. And Clem only managed to kill a few workers here so far, but he's not done yet. He's not done yet. And he's killed actually a lot of workers. PartinG's still on the other side of the map though, doing so much right now. But oh, he's got nothing that shoots up. The Dragonflies don't do that much damage though. So you can see, even though like they're kind of a general purpose unit, I don't really personally rate the Dragonfly that highly. It might just be because I don't know how to use it. It is, it's move and shoot. It shoots up, it shoots down. It's general purpose. I just feel like even when you surprise your opponent with an air swap like this, you're like, it takes a while to clean up the enemy units, which it finally does. Clem's on 1 base, PartinG's on 2, but PartinG has only got 4 workers mining right now on that base. Now, Clem looks like he wants to do all in. The fact that he isn't snap recalling tells us he's going all in. All you need to do as PartinG here is make a ton of anti-air units, make a ton of those Blink Hunter units, which are my favorite anti-air unit, and I think he should have this in the bag. Dragonflies. I'm going for a Dragonfly all-in when he saw the Dragonflies already. I don't think this is... I didn't think this would work. Man, Dragonflies are tankier than I thought. That being said, I guess there's just not enough Blink Hunters here. No way. He's got it. I can't believe he's got it. The Dragonfly all-in actually worked. PartinG was so broke. He was so broke that even knowing about it on the other side of the map, he just didn't have enough time to build enough units to actually deal with it. All right, guys, I take it back. Dragonflies may not kill stuff that fast, but they're pretty tanky. It's tied up 6-6, the series that will never end. This really does feel scripted. They bribed these guys. They bribed these guys to make it this close, but it is good to see that they are so evenly matched. PartinG's playing Scorpion Beetle, and Clem is going to play Gunbot Missile Bot. This is a bit of a change up for both sides. Clem has like snipers, crusaders, shockers, whereas it looked like we just saw like a bunch of the other units like destroyers on PartinG's side. We'll see which units the players choose to opt in for. I really feel like definitely this is like a, I guess it's not bad that I'm casting like this, but once you guys have been into the game and we all have, my casts are going to be a lot more about the meta of what cards, you know, what units you pick, your deck loadout, because I feel like there's so much metagaming in terms of that, and also in terms of like how the units swap. That's like, it's kind of like the unit choice strategy is brought to the fore in this game, right? Some people are like, this is not a strategy game, but it so clearly is in terms of it's just not focusing on like the macro and economy side of strategy very much. There still is the basic decision making of when to expand, that sort of thing. But the main thing is like unit counters is obviously like it's right up front and center. And whilst that's important in all RTS games, it's not necessarily the most important thing, right? Like, you know, as someone who's been doing StarCraft content for years, I always get people, oh, what counters this? What counters that? And I always go, you don't really need to counter that. Just have a solid unit comp, you know? There's just like a standard balanced army that works versus everything. This game, that's not the case. It's so individual to the situation you're in. Okay, so Starforge is coming in. Butterfly Mammoth for PartinG. Dragonfly Advanced, was that Advanced Recall? For Clem. What's he using recall soldiers for? That's an odd choice. Because he's not got a recall loadout, but like he's just a single recall unit in the mix. I've tried this once or twice. I never had success with it. Okay, a couple Scorpions go down for 4 workers. Not a terrible trade. Yeah, so he's got advanced recall. I mean, I think the idea is Dragonfly advanced recall. It's just probably wants to use the air swap with the Dragonfly, the advanced recall just in case. And actually, maybe he's already getting ready to do a run by his PartinG. Clem, massing the gunbots. Gotta be careful not to get surrounded. Remember what happened last time when he was playing gunbot versus Scorpion, guys. He's got the spotter up top, which is good. It's 3 base for Clem, 4 base for PartinG. PartinG with the melee. The melee units are like a bit scarier for the opponent. Like, their stats are better. But as the armies get bigger, they fall off pretty hard. So usually you want to like look for a big surrounding fight, look for a timing attack, or out-expand. And PartinG's gone for a mixture of out-expanding. And look at this, Clem's got a bunch of missile bots. He's expecting the air swap of the butterflies, so he's already got a ton of anti-air units in the mix. That means he's not as strong against ground though. Oh, he's just going to stand his ground and fight right now. The missile bot's not as good against air. And you can see PartinG says, well, I'm just not going to make a single air unit. If you're blind building anti-air units, without even seeing me commit to air, then I won't commit to them. I'm just going to go for a big Scorpion Mammoth push. I think Clem's micro is good enough that this seems like a pretty decent trade for him. At first, I didn't think it was going well, but seems like it's not too terrible. Oh, there we go. He's going to go for the advanced recall to support. Kind of wild choice there. Those missile bots up front might not do the most damage, but they do help. And look at that. Just stutter stepping forward there. I think missile bots might also have the sort of stim, the overcharge ability. Scorpion's coming in on this base. Oh my god, he's gone for the fortress, guys. I forgot what it's called. I think Sky Fortress. I think it's called. It's basically, I think of this as like a giant floating bunker, but oh man, they get gunned down by the Valkyries so quickly. Valkyries are just absolute destroyer of anti-air units. I don't think they do much damage to ground. Even though the lasers look cool, you're going to notice they're not doing much damage. But those Valkyries wreck air units. Oh man, so quick on the Valkyrie preparation. I don't know how Clem knew this was coming. I mean, I guess I know. It does tell you when your opponent's tech up, remember, in this game. You can hold down spacebar and see what units they're unlocking. But he predicted the Sky Fortress transition, went for the Valkyries, and shot them down before they got to do anything. This is crazy, right? He committed to anti-air, early in the game, hoping to catch that early butterfly swap. Didn't manage to run into it, then managed to catch it later. Now, the butterflies are now out, and there's nothing that shoots up here except a Valkyrie. Valkyrie, a single red hit point Valkyrie comes in, is like, hello, have you met our Lord and Savior, Mr. Friggin' ridiculous anti-air lasers. Dragonflies coming in for Clem and killing the top workers as well. Wow, Clem smashed this. Clem's got this one pretty much in the bag, I'd say, as he takes out the workers up top. Yeah, the Valk's very bad against ground. I mean, that laser looks intimidating, but that is doing nothing. That does nothing against ground, man. Oh, dude. Remember, it's a 15-game series. We're tied up 6-6. If Clem wins this one, it's going to be 7-6 in his favor. He's on 3 base. Technically, PartinG still has the northern base. He just has no workers on it right now. He's on Mammoths. Mammoths, they're okay. A pretty basic army for Clem. Oh, the anti-air unit's coming in for a flank there from PartinG. He's looking for those Valks. We're not able to get them. Advanced recall gunbot trying to start a step away here. This fight feels kind of awkward for Clem. I think just standing and fighting was the right call. A bit more focus fire from Clem maybe would have been nice there. Oh, he split off army to go kill a base in the north. I mean, I think he traded out close enough in the middle. I think it was like 60-40 in favor of PartinG. But Clem's got a 4th base down the bottom and is killing the 3rd. This is another 4th base that makes no sense for Clem. I think Clem just needs to make sure he has enough army to defend. But Clem is such a player who just loves to like push his advantage to the very limit. He plays very risky and he gets it done. All right, guys, 7-6 in Clem's favor. Clem's playing Scorpion, Hornet, Bomber, Striker. He's got Locust, Dragonfly, King Crab, and Assault Bot. Meanwhile, PartinG playing Blink, King Crab. Interesting. How does this really match up? I think King Crabs can be pretty good versus Scorpions, for sure. But I really feel like King Crabs are one of those units where it's all about how you finesse them. Sometimes they get stuck behind your army in a fight and they really don't do much. Other times they absolutely destroy. Careful with those blinkers, PartinG. I mean, you can see he's trying to use the range advantage as best he can. If he does get surrounded, it could be a problem. 3rd base is already up here for Clem. Remember, the 3rd base can tank a lot. It's a minute later when those workers spawn in. That's when you're vulnerable. Oh, he anticipates the run around, the run by. Good move. Good move for PartinG. Good move for Clem as well. Kind of forces him back without really directly engaging. Scorpion does go down. Losing 1 or 2 Scorpions in the early stages is not too important. You want to try and minimize those losses, though. Good micro by Clem. PartinG's scaring him. Remember, Clem's only on, PartinG's only on 2 base, sorry. Ooh, these 3 Blink guys do get caught by the Scorpions. One of them will get surrounded and killed. Good starter set by PartinG so far. Very nice micro. Okay, I really want to see what his tier 2 tech is, because he's only on 2 base. He must have teched up earlier. Oh, he blinks to the left. He's going to blink to the left again, and he's got reinforcements here. He should be blinking back to weak units. Oh, okay, he blinks back a chunk of them. Yeah, he's doing okay. Good enough micro, I think, for PartinG that he does take a favorable trade, but 2 base against 3 base, he better be taking favorable trades. Now, Clem's got to be careful to not overcommit here. And we've got some chunkers coming out. What are these chunkers? There's some tier 2 units coming out in the south. What's PartinG? I think it's King Crab. We're going to see in a second. Yeah, it's King Crabs. Of course, it's King Crabs. They're not even joining the fight right now. Oh, these shockers. So good versus the Scorpions, man. The Scorpions will take out the right one, though. They shoot so slow, these shock tanks, man. The King Crabs are like YOLOing onto Clem's 3rd. Scorpions actually going to kill those since they aren't fighting back. Oh, man. This might actually be okay for Clem. Gives up the base, but kills all the King Crabs without losing many Scorpions. Immediately rebuilds his 3rd. PartinG stuck on 2 base. I mean, it seems like it should be a good comp against what we're seeing from Clem. I still feel like Clem, because he's doing well enough now, if he can swap into a nice air army, like basically if he can bait PartinG into pushing over to his 3rd again, and then surprise him with a bunch of Dragonflies, just like 6 Dragonflies, no more than that, he could run over this army, right? There are a few anti-air Blink units in, some Blink Hunters mixed in, but not enough. Not enough to take on like a 5 or 6 Dragonfly switch. And you've already got the Starforge, so I'd love to see that for Clem. I think he's really biding his time for the right moment, though. For now, you can see these Strikers, not the greatest stats, but so fast. Very good for just adding super mobile range damage to Scorpion and Wasp compositions. Here we go. Intercepts. Oh, wow. You can see, like, man, they're fragile. They are fragile. But, dude, their damage is not bad, the Strikers. First time PartinG did Striker Wasp to me, I literally I literally just went to the devs and I was like, guys, that unit is broken. That thing coming out of the Starforge is cracked. It was that time when I thought Starforge units would kind of suck. Like the Starforge ground units would not be good because, hey, you're getting a ground unit off the Starforge, but I quickly found out that no, they're a little worse on the stats. They're not like terrible units by any means. They are actually quite good. Here we go. Nice fight for PartinG, dude. I don't know why Clem's fighting with so few units. He's really got to wait for a second. He's doing a run by on the left side of the map. He's got to gather. Finally, that Dragonfly swap I was talking about, guys. I said 6. He goes for just 3. He's going to lose the base if he doesn't come in with the ground units at the same time. But there's nothing that shoots up there, or very few things that shoot up. So, yeah, there's like a few recall hunters, but not many of them. He's going to come in with the ground army as well. A lot of his workers have died. Clem does keep the base up. Dragonflies chase a lot of those units down. Remember, their damage isn't that high, but they are reasonably tanky, the Dragonfly. Their maneuverability, their move and shoot ability as well. That's very powerful. 3 base against 3 base. PartinG lost half the workers on his natural. Clem lost 3/4 of the workers on his third. It's still a very close game right now, but it does feel like Clem is kind of just YOLOing to his death, not being very efficient. Like, he's looking for the momentum. But remember, whenever you attack into your opponent's reinforcement, they've got defender's advantage. They're there. Their units are spawning closer. They've got the better position more often than not. And I definitely think we've seen Clem overcommit a lot in these games. This is something where it's going to be so fascinating to see players right now. Like, we're going to look back on these games and go, these guys suck, like a few years down the track, right? We're going to be like, these guys, man, we really didn't know what we were doing. These guys were the best players of the game. And that's inevitable, right? In any strategy game, where especially with a lot of tactics and fast-paced micro, we're gonna figure out so much over the years, and we're really gonna start to come up with more rules about like attacking and defending that are not necessarily immutable, but definitely like more strictly applied to. Like, there's gonna be like proper understanding of theory of how to get ahead and behind things, which we touch on a fair amount in StarCraft, but it's gonna be so important in a game like this without all the mechanics and the macro stuff going on. Scorpion surround comes in, strikers as well. There's just, dude, those shockers just shredded the Scorpions. This was not a good enough surround for Clem. PartinG has this one in the bag, and this will be GG. You can tell Clem's desperate, by the way. He's just diving on top of this super mobile comp. As I said, strikers really fast. Good if you can pick your opponent apart, but they couldn't stand up to that meteor composition of PartinG. All right. Well, Clem has played Scorpion Striker, Scorpion Hornet Striker again here. PartinG, this is going to be our final game, actually, right? Because it's 7-7. This is our final game. PartinG's playing Blink. So Blink for PartinG, Scorpions for Clem. I think Clem he does pretty well with these comps, but especially with like the melee comps. But in general, I'd just like to see him pull back a little bit more. I mean, this is kind of Clem's weakness in StarCraft 2, is like he attacks too much. It's his superpower as well, is he's so good at attacking, but there are so many times where he does just like attack when he really should be defending, and I think it's the same here as well. I look forward to being wrong about a lot of things, by the way. For anyone not familiar with my commentary style, it's strategy games, and I like to strategize and say, I think this is good. I think that's bad. Oh, I think this is good because of that, bad because of that. And I will often be wrong about things, and that is absolutely inevitable. And I embrace it, and I look forward to people explaining why. Learning from that. King Crab upgrade coming in, the tier 2 ground for PartinG. Clem's going for the faster third again. This is really like, we're seeing the players like kind of butt heads and try to do the same sort of strategies versus each other and say, oh, I just got to do it better. So I think Clem realizing he probably overcommitted towards the end of that game. Dude, oh my god, he's going to get a bit of a surround on a bunch of these guys. Very nice. Every Blink dude that goes down is huge. Nice chase on the south for PartinG though. PartinG's going for the shockers behind this as well. Couple Scorpions killing some workers up north. I think he's happy to take the trade. A lot of those Blinkies. Oh, good pullbacks. Good pullbacks on the Blinky boys. Very good pullbacks on the Blinky boys there for PartinG. Can he save the workers? No. All 4 workers do go down. Clem killing some workers. 3 base first. 2 base, that's good. He's got to pick his next engagements wisely, though. Got to pick his next engagements wisely, yeah. Because look, now we've got that King Crab Shocker combo. And what's your answer? I hope he went Starforge, guys. I wasn't paying attention to his tech tree in the millisecond where we actually got to see it. Yeah. He's going to go Dragonflies. He's going to counterattack. He says, okay, you kill my base, I'll kill your base. That's a great choice. And then, because you have to pull back as PartinG, you have to pull back because the Dragonflies, whereas you don't have to pull back here. You've got overwhelming numbers. Look at the Scorpion surround. So yes, you lose your third base as Clem. You've got your Dragonflies coming out. PartinG's already pulling back, though. PartinG preempted this. PartinG knew this was going to be the case. But PartinG does lose all of his workers on his natural expansion, and the king crabs get surrounded as well. So I'd say that's pretty darn successful. Now, the question is, how much can these dragonflies get? Oh, they're going to get a shocker. They're going to get 2. Very nice. He's going to try and click the base. Oh, wow. He's got like 8. That's so many. That's such a bit. Not, yeah, 8 dragonflies. He just wants to kill the base. He just wants to kill the base. Kill the base and get out. He's happy to sacrifice a couple dragonflies. 1 goes down. Make it 2. Make it 3 most likely. Oh, 6 of them somehow survive. That's very impressive. So look at that. 2 base with 3/4 mining on his natural, his second base. Whereas Mr. PartinG only on 1 base mining. This is really good for Clem right now. That dragonfly swap and just realizing, hey, my army's weak right now. Let's not fight into him. Whereas in the previous game, he kept attacking when the fight turned against him. This time he said, oh, okay, I'll avoid fighting head on, use the asymmetry of the air swap. And I really feel like this is so well done by him, because when your opponent commits to a big 2-base push, they just grab a nice combo of units they think will beat you. Air is always the best way to deal with that. Air, if it wasn't for air, people would always just do 2-base pushes with really nice combos of units. But the air swaps that come in are just so powerful. Look at this. Like, yeah, you'll kill the base, but look at how much you're sacrificing for it. Look at how much you're sacrificing. Those dragonflies are just getting the work done, man. It is 1 base versus 1 base now. I'd like to see Clem just reproduce his base. Because unless you think that dragonfly counter all-in is going to work like it did last time, rebuilding your economy is the way. You've traded so well. You've got dragonflies, which forces anti-air units, which suck against ground. If you re-expand and go back into tier 2 ground units as Clem, or even just a mixture, a nice hybrid army, I think Clem could even potentially get a 3rd base here, because his mining's just been so ahead. Now, he's got to be careful because there is blink on those anti-air units, and actually he decides to fight. Not a good choice. Bad choice for Clem. Loses a lot of his dragonflies. He's going to float around behind the natural now. Oh, he jukes back. This is so dangerous because of the blink, but he baits the blink, and he will get some damage on the way out. Scorpions come in. Clem continuing to attack right now. This is so risky. I think it's a little unnecessary. He trades a dragonfly for a couple of blink hunters. There we go. Gets a few more blink hunter workers here. Nah, that's good trade. Good trade. Good trade for Clem. Clem doesn't have that 3rd base up yet. He also hasn't gone for higher tier ground. You can see he's just massing a mixture of dragonfly and crabs. This is crazy. To me, I'm like, oh man, I'd be so worried about the anti-air value getting in. But that single dragonfly harass has been insane. I feel like just the way he used the dragonfly base trade sort of mechanic was so well done. Neither side teching up right now. PartinG's trying to hang in. Trying to hang in there. Does he have enough anti-air for the dragonflies while also dealing with the ground? It looks like he does. Clem may just go for a 3rd. He's going for a big attack. Clem's committing. Clem is committing right now. Oh, the dragonflies are all getting blasted. So the dragonflies are gone and the shockers are doing really well. Guys, I think PartinG's got this. I think PartinG has this. Yeah, big overcommitment for Clem. Oh, this is what I'm saying is like, I really feel like Clem doesn't need to keep attacking. And he kind of had such a good advantage by forcing all these anti-air units out that he should be expanding behind it. And this is where I do think like the theory of the game comes in. And I think it's going to be very easy to pick up these sort of like mistakes in quotation marks that players are making in the early days when you're watching the game, because they're playing at such high speeds, they're doing so many things. But I think as the game goes on, players are going to get much better at that decision making. So definitely a small area for improvement for Clem right now, as he now is facing down a huge counter push. I think the armies are still pretty close. Clem might have a slight advantage there nonetheless. He's got massive strikers and crabs. Those shockers getting good shots off could ruin him. I feel like as Clem, you should try to sandwich this army. If you can come in and swoop in from two or three sides, I think he beats this army. But if he comes up too clumped, then the shockers, their shots could ruin him. Now, to be fair, PartinG committing in here, attacking in, or giving your opponent defensive advantage is a problem. Yeah, you see Clem's looping around for this round, and he does find the king crabs. Strikers are really good against king crabs. Very good at just gunning down those king crabs, because remember, they're fragile, but they have high damage. King crabs and melee units struggle. It's going to turn into a messy fight. I think it's a good choice to just go for it. The strikers focus down the shockers so quickly. Dude, every time I play against strikers and they focus down my important units like that, I'm like, dude, this unit is OP. The striker has to be one of the most tilting units to play against. Look at the way it moves and shoots. Look how fast they are. Tell me that's not broken. And they're fragile and expensive. But holy crud, Clem just abused PartinG with both air units and strikers at the end of that game. Well, that's it, guys. Clem wins 2 wins that last game and wins it 8-7. But the players and the devs have now decided to play a bonus 2v2. And what's cool, David Kim and Stefan are both very high-level RTS gamers. David Kim from StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2, Stefan from Dawn of War back in the day. And these guys are actually, it's cool, man. These guys are like old university mates who grew up gaming together and are now making video games together. And I actually think they're going to be way better than PartinG and Clem because they have so much game knowledge as devs, and the players have played so little. So we're going to see probably some really clever things. Now, might be a bit harder to track in the 2v2s as we're new to the game, but at least it's orange-red versus green-blue. And it looks like green-blue is going to be the Scorpions over there on the left side. I'm probably going to get messed up on the player names, so I'm just going to call them by their colors to make it easier for you guys to follow, okay? I'll remind you guys of who's which color at the end. So it's the blink gunbot getting cornered. Oh, the Wasp Scorpion surround. It's the double mass melee strat for green and blue. The blink guy's trying to get out. The gunbot's trying to hide in the work line. Remember what I said? You don't want to move out to defend your third until you've got the workers almost there. You want to let the bases tank damage. I think giving this fight to the green-blue Swarm players was a little bit of a mistake. On the other hand, the blink micro was good. The gunbot micro was good. And I think they actually did fine there. So I think in general, like it's a very dangerous choice. They've both gone 4 bases already. The only person who doesn't have 4 bases is blue. Wow. Holy greed, Batman. Holy greed. Maybe this is just the 2v2 meta. There's a lot more like mass expanding because you've got a teammate to help defend you against stuff. Actually, there's no yellow expansion down the bottom either. So 7 bases aside. Get out of there, man. Get out of there. That's Clem with the blinkers, does get back. The gunbot's trying to pull back as well. Scorpion's coming in right now. The gunbot's try to stutter step here. You can see the reinforcing gunbots come down. And it looks like orange and red will manage to defend for now. To me, the idea of going Wasp Scorpion actually seems really counterintuitive. I feel like in a team game, you really should be going 1 range, 1 melee. But maybe because the ground units, the melee units are so fast in this game, this actually does make sense. We'll see how it works out for green-blue. Gunbot blink attack coming in right here, trying to blink away out of the bad surround. The gunbot's doing really well versus the wasps as they kind of filter into it, though. This seems like an amazing counter push. Guys, are they just going to win? Are red-orange just going to win? Crusaders coming out to reinforce right now. You can see David, Kim, and Clem on the right, Stefan and PartinG on the left. I really feel like Davey and Clem are doing so well right now. King Crab's coming in. And yes, you got a Crusader, but if you get rid of the Crusader and those Crabs get on top of the Wasps and the Scorpions, the Wasps and the Scorpions are going to get wrecked. Dude, the Scorpions got to watch out, man. Those King Crabs do big splash damage. Our orange-red team is smashing right now. This bonus 2v2 is brutal. It's brutal, man. They're going to kill the middle bases. These guys might be overextending now, though. Oh, Falcon transition. Falcon transition for our green-blue team in the bottom. They're going to come out with those very slow but exceptionally powerful air units. They've also got Raiders running in at the same time, so they aren't damaging their opponent's economies. Oh, and look how much damage they're doing. I think this might be a mistake staying here with the King Crabs. King Crabs could have ran home. I mean, not only could it be a mistake, it was definitely a mistake. There's no reason. The moment he saw the Falcons, they should have ran home and saved all those King Crabs and valuable units. When you don't have any anti-air, you do not want to hang around at all. That King Crab goes down as well. More units running by to the north. I think this was a big turnaround. I think green and blue are back in the game. Orange and red still look like they want to be aggressive right now, but I really think they got to just try to make sure they don't throw units away. Just going out with the mobile gunbots for a bit of poking and prodding, probably a good idea. All right, taking out the base. Nicely done. Very good focus fire there. Scorpion's going after it as well. Oh, we got a Kraken! Kraken getting unlocked. The Kraken tech's getting unlocked. Kraken costs like 2,000, or 3,000, some insane amount of money. You never see it outside of team games. But right now, I believe our green-blue team is trying to unlock the Kraken. It is such an expensive unit. Yeah, it's Stefan. Stefan's trying to get it. Of course he is. Dude, I mean, they've got a lot of bases. They've got so much economy in this game, so you can afford these like late-game units. You might not afford as much in 1v1. Here we go. Crusaders coming forward. Scorpions as well. Nice defensive hold on the top from Davey. Davey also has Kraken tech already unlocked. Are we going to see a Kraken war, guys? We might see Kraken versus Kraken. It is a ridiculous unit. Destroyers mixed in on the north for Davey as well. Going to help him clean out those Crusaders. The massive gunbots for Clem. I feel like Clem needs to just get forward and commit to defending these bases. He has so many gunbots, and there's no splash damage in there for green and blue. Where are the gunbots? Gunbots are going north. Oh, gunbots are trying to kill their 5th base. So Clem's left Davey out in the middle. Davey's like, Clem, help out, bro. Get down here, bro. Help me out. Clem's just leaving Davey in the open, leaving him in the wind. I mean, he's not trading his gunbots at all. I feel like Clem is almost playing scared right now. He's got to get out there. Clem has such a big army. He's got an immense amount of gunbots. But he's taking his time to get in front. You know what's weird, guys? Orange shows up as red on the map, and red shows up as orange on the mini-map. That is so confusing. That is so confusing, guys. That's really bewildering. Falcon run by, smashes the 3rd. This looks like it's really bad now for Clem and Davey. The anti-air units aren't able to deal with the Falcon. The Kraken comes out, though. Kraken says, you boys don't shoot up, do you? You don't shoot up, do you? Nah. Starts picking them all off, dude. The Kraken brings out the Australian in me, guys. Release the Kraken, release the Bogan inside me. The Crusaders are just going to get gunned down. They're single target units. Like the gunbots, this is a great fight for the gunbots. They don't have any missile bots with them, not a lot of anti-airs. They got to be careful of air swaps, but right now they're in a good spot. This Kraken is huge. Where is Stefan's Kraken? Does he have a Kraken as well, guys? Because he has it unlocked. Oh, he's about to hit 3,000 power. So he's pulling back. He's waiting. He's going to unleash the Kraken as well. He will unleash the Kraken. We're going to have a Kraken war. You can see the Kraken on the minimap. There we go. Stefan's Kraken's out as well. The two devs both building the OP capital ship type unit. You can make more than one, I'm pretty sure, but they're just so expensive. I've never seen a player with more than one, and they are very good against everything. I think they technically die to Predators and maybe 1 or 2 other anti-air units. Predators especially. If you get like 6 or 8 Predators out, you can just stutter step them down without really even getting hit. But if you don't have Predators in the tech tree or some sort of anti-air specialist like Valkyries, you are going to struggle to beat the Kraken. Stefan right now screwing around with his Kraken. His Kraken's not fighting. What's he doing, guys? His Kraken was not fighting while Davy's Kraken was doing massive damage. The red Kraken was slaying it. But that's why. It's because they were doing sick run-bys. PartinG and Stefan ruining Clem and Davy's economy. The question is, can they defend their own? Because they're back down to 2 bases now. Kraken versus Kraken. These units are below, both move and shoot. As you can see, they're both just standing and fighting each other. Does look like the green Kraken's just slightly healthier. It's very close, though. Could be going either way. There's still a big army for our orange and red team. Remember, the gunbots were preserving. There's such a mass of gunbots. And now they're finally starting to die. The Beetles were trying to get in range of the Kraken. They couldn't right do it. The Falcons and the Beetles trying to deal with the Kraken. The problem is green and blue are investing all their money in anti-air units. And you can see the way the big red Kraken is just kiting them. Meanwhile, the basic standard ground units are slaying it. They are destroying for red and orange. We've also got the advanced... there was the advanced blinks in there as well, which was kind of cool. And it looks like at the end of the day, I mean, the green Kraken's still healthier, despite them, I think, overcommitting to anti-air units and getting them shredded. Crusader does go down. You can see the Beetles trying to chase it down. He wants that Kraken kill so badly. I don't think units heal in this game, guys. I don't think there's any units that heal. I think bases slowly heal over time. But that Kraken running away. I mean, it does look like it has a shield on it. You'd think that shield would regenerate, right? Slaying some ground units. Kraken, it seems to shoot from like the center of itself, not from like the edge of its circle. Which is why these Krakens get kind of close, but don't really shoot each other. Another base goes down for our red and orange team. It's 2 base versus 2 base still. The Kraken comes in, does some big damage. There's no real anti-air specialists to help out on either side. I mean, we got like, I think those are, yeah, just advanced blinks coming in. Not going to be able to do anything. The Kraken is ridiculous right now. I mean, this is such a meme unit. I love it. We've only seen it in 2v2 so far. We've only seen it in the games the devs play. Is it actually good, or are they just memeing because they're better than everybody else? I have no idea. But it does look like it's in sudden death mode. We're down to the last minute. Guys, it's a base trade. Wait, what kills a base faster? All these gunbots and advanced recalls, or one Kraken that's almost dead? Right now, Stefan and PartinG are way ahead in the score, but they need to make sure they don't actually lose their base. And they've got no income. Oh my gosh. Whoa. If you can kill I think you have to kill both bases in 2v2 though. I don't know if there's enough units to do it for either side. If there's not enough units to kill the bases, then Stefan and PartinG will win, because they're the ones who still have the Kraken alive. I think still having the Kraken alive probably represents a huge amount of that score advantage in the top. Dude. Yeah, that's not enough. They can't kill the bases. There's only 15 seconds left. I don't think either side can kill both bases in that time. These guys are going to get close with the Kraken's insane firepower. I mean, but what a crazy game that was. That was a very fun 2v2. It's cool to see a bit of the chaos and the just absolute madness you get in these games. Sudden death time, it does run down, and that's going to be a win for PartinG and Steph. And I thought they were losing earlier on in that game, but damn, dude, they hung in there and fought back so well. GG, well played. All right, guys, just going to replay a bit of the footage here from that final game while I wrap up. What the heck? That was actually really fun. That was epic, though. 15-game series. We got to see a lot of the different units. I still feel like PartinG and Clem play way more aggressive than most people will be playing this game because they are, you know, 300, 400 APM actions per minute, spamming crazy fast pro players. But I think it gave a good idea of some of the intensity and competitiveness the game can bring. I think there's still so much to be explored, and I really still feel like this game is a game that has so much room for just adding lots of different units, patches, and I'd love to see a different map or two. I'd love to see some different maps. I don't know if they're planning to add those or not, but some different maps to add some variety would make this just add so much to it. And I really feel like this is a game where if they can keep dropping new content like that regularly from closed beta through to whenever the heck release is going to be, that's going to be awesome. Closed beta is coming up in less than a week, so I'll see you guys on my stream. I'm going to be casting and playing a fair bit of this pretty much every day, mixing in with my other StarCraft and other game content. So I hope to see you guys there. And I hope to see you all in the closed beta. I'll chuck a link down below if you guys want to sign up for that closed beta. Thanks for watching, though. Have a good night, everybody. Let me know what you're thinking about Battle Aces so far, and I hope you have a good one. Goodbye and good night.